And welcome back. We're outside here of our studios with Bob Billiger, and you're
Sandy
with us.
Garland.
And Sandy here. You're here just for looks because you're not going to get a word in edgewise on this interview.
You talk to Bob, though.
I want to talk about your car. We saw this in the Baxter Bulletin, and I want to start from the beginning, but I know we don't have 2 hours to talk about this thing. So tell me about. You were telling Sandy about how you discovered this car. Tell us again about how that happened.
I went to Oklahoma. I had a friend out there that actually had a Roadrunner that I was going to look at, and he had just bought this thing out of an estate sale from a little old lady, and
it looked just like this, right?
Yeah, not. No, it was really, really beat up. The car was very solid. It had been garage kept its whole life, but as she got older, she got to where she couldn't see, and she took out 3 garage doors on the right side, so it was really, really beat up. But the car just gave me a good, warm, fuzzy feeling. I mean, it's just a nice car to get in and ride in.
Have you done this before? Now, we're talking about a complete restoration of this vehicle.
Yes.
Have you done this kind of thing before?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
We have Ozark Mountain Classics, and we do this all the time. But this is something that I've had this car for about 6 years, and it's something that I just needed to do for me, because I've never actually, it's been a long time, put it that way, since I've actually restored a car. And
what do you usually do when you say for yourself and you want to restore it? What do you usually do?
Well, we have 2 guys that works with me, and so we do it as a team, together.
Right.
But this, I needed to do it by myself, to.
It's kind of like a man cave thing.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, you come to a point where like you do things together so much that you just say, I need to do this.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question. I do have a question.
Okay.
When you say you restored it, I mean from the ground up kind of thing?
We took everything completely apart.
That's hard to do for some people that want to just get in and start driving it down the road. And you have to physically put yourself in a frame of mind to take every bolt apart, right?
Oh, absolutely. But if you look at it in small increments, it's not nearly as overwhelming as if you try to look at the whole package. Mm-hmm. But we literally took the car completely apart, put it on the rotisserie, flipped it over, media blasted it, and then started, from scratch.
But that's a great feeling, though, right?
Oh, it's very rewarding. Because like I said, we do this every day, on customer cars and stuff like that. But it was rewarding for me to accomplish this.
Well, before we go back to the car, talk about your business for a minute. You do this for a living. I mean,
yes.
And do you have customers all over or just local?
Yeah. We have done stuff for guys in Germany. We've sent things to Sweden, all over the United States, from Alabama, New York, Kansas, Oklahoma. So and of course Missouri and Arkansas, but.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have done a lot of different things.
What's your business like during this recession? I know a lot of people are affected by that. Is there a slowdown, or is there people that still love to do this kind of thing?
There's still a lot of people that really like doing it. Now, we have slowed up, let's say, just a tad from what it was, let's say, even last year. Yeah. But we still have plenty to keep us going. I just don't have this 8 months to a year backlog.
Right.
But
you used to have.
Yeah, like we used to have. But we still have got plenty to keep going, which is a good thing. I got 2 guys that depend on me to have things in there so we can work on.
Right. Now, are you a Dodge guy exclusively?
No, we do everything. We do GM, Ford. We dipped a lot into this Restorod thing, and also we've done T-buckets. We've done a variety of all kinds of things, street rods.
Now, the vehicle that we've got here, it's a Super B69, and for those people like me that know what those are, it didn't look like this or didn't come with this engine, right, as a stock. So you changed the engine? I'm sure the Granny didn't have this engine that was in here, right?
No, originally this thing was a 318. It was called a White Hat Special, which had air hubcaps, just a real, let's say, more of a plain Jane, right. Kind of car. And what I wanted in 69 and a half, they had a Dodge and Plymouth both. They did a specialty, or like a limited production run of cars, which they were coded A12, which were more of a street and performance type of a car. Were street and strip. And what the A12s got was a 446 pack, extra heavy duty suspension. They had a fiberglass lift-off hood and they were, it was like 1,900 Dodges made, Super Bs, and 1,400 Roadrunners. But my vision is to build a car like that one that looked like it, but yet I wanted to do all late model things.
Okay, and then when you say late model, what do you mean? And that's kind of why they picked you, is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Before we go any further, you were picked to go to Las Vegas by the Mopar industry. For what reason?
Because whenever we went to Carlisle, Pennsylvania, that's where the show was at, and it was an invitational type show, which when I got there, the invitation was all that I thought I was going to get anyway. But the execs from Chrysler come around, and this is the design guys. They had come around, they were looking at the car, and they said that they liked it because it still looks 69 on the outside, but it's the execution of the late model things, as far as late model things that you would buy off the shelf. Right. Like I've got a 472 Crate Hemi, which is about 550 horse. It's a Kiesler 5-speed. I have a power rack, coilovers, 4-wheel disc brakes. So the car,
a lot of high performance aftermarket things on the car.
It's stuff that also, like your late model cars got. So this car drives just like a late model car.
So we've got air conditioning, power steering, all that kind of thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay. But it looks like it did in 69. I've been out of the way so you can see the car and not me. Yeah. But so the stuff that's new is stuff that you can't really see, right?
Yeah, we can lift the hood, and then you can, all right, we can do it.
Okay. Let's just do that.
Get the Hemi thing going here.
Now, one thing Dodge did back then, they did make a Hemi, right?
Yes. They made a 426 Hemi, but this is bored and stroked, a newer crate motor. Which is called a 472.
Oh my gosh!
Bigger is better.
We could eat breakfast on that. Now, how hard is it to? I mean, I'm sure you don't put very many miles on this vehicle, but how does a person keep this clean? You just go in there with a toothbrush or white kid gloves and make sure that everything's clean, because it's an engine compartment where there's oil and all kinds of things.
Yeah, because it does get dirty. Yeah, whenever you drive it much at all. Yeah. And but it all cleans up easy. It's all got good.
You got to
good
keep
materials
on top of it to keep it clean to begin with. Okay.
Absolutely.
So I'm getting tips because I'm ready to get into one of these things, but not so much this, because these are expensive. I'm looking for something that's not so expensive.
And there's stuff out there. Listen, we can hook you up.
Okay. I'm looking at Corvairs, and I want to modify a Corvair. There we go.
Yeah, they are neat cars, and there's actually a few people around town that have them, but they're really neat. I think they got a bad rap.
They sure did. But great looking engine, Hemi. Do you try to, wind this thing out, or are you afraid to do that?
Who's a cop?
I'll tell you.
I mean, the passion is, you get a big engine like this, you just want to floor it on a straightaway somewhere and see what it'll do.
It feels very good. He's
not going to admit to that.
Yeah. If I did exceed the speed limit, it would feel very good.
Hypothetically.
I will tell you a small one. Whenever I first mocked the car up, in other words, put all the late model stuff in, put the motor and to be sure everything fit right. And when I got it finished, which was 2 years ago, we took it to church that morning, and we were coming out of church, and I thought, we just need to drive around a little. So we went out West Road, and then as we were coming back, we turned at the stoplight going up the hill, and the car, it just is happy when it's turning. So I just kind of stood on. Yes, I kind of stood on a little bit, and it drifted, and it drifts very well from one lane to the other.
Okay.
And so I just kind of drifted up the hill, and I had looked around. There was nobody around. Nothing. Right. I just crest the top of the hill. Blue lights behind me, and I thought, where in the world did that come from? So I got up. I pulled into the muffler shop. And it was a county guy, and he walked up to you and said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I don't know. It kind of slipped. I didn't mean it. Yeah, it does it so easy, But he said, "Well, that's not a good idea." And I go, "Yeah, I figured that's not." And he said, "Yesterday I had a younger guy doing a wheelie up Main Street, and I gave him a ticket because it wasn't a good idea." Mm-hmm. And I thought, ooh. He said, "Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to let you go today." And he said, I'm just letting you know this is not the proper place to do it. And then so I'm thinking, so there is places to do it.
Right, okay, good. That's interesting. Well, Bob, thanks so much for being with us today. A beautiful car. I'm envious, and words can't express how envious I am. So when are you going to be going out to Las Vegas?
We'll be going out for the 1st to the 4th of November.
Okay.
And tell you what, this whole thing has been a really honor to be able to go out there to represent Mopar. And
and you know, I'm on eBay and I look at these vehicles, and there's hundreds of them out there. So you have to really feel privileged to be a part of an elite group.
Oh, I do. Yeah. I do. You know, for me, it's not going to work every day. I actually really enjoy it. It's like playtime. You know, so
well, you found the ultimate job then, if it's playtime.
Yeah, because I really enjoy going to work, and it's more of an adventure every day than work.
Thanks, Bob.
Appreciate
it very much. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Good luck in Las Vegas. All right.
Oh, I said spin around. Let's show the car one more time. We're looking this direction.
Thanks to all the guests being on the show this week, and we'll see you again next time.